Okay, so my definition of art by Lillian Chang. So, what is art? In my opinion, it includes drawing, painting, sculptures, collages, and digital art. And within that, I put that it must include composition, subject, credits to who made the art, and evoke interpretation or emotions because um, since I've taken art class before, I understand that composition is basically how the picture or sculpture or collage or digital art is arranged, like what is put where, and that basically indicates what the author wants you to take out from the image, which can like mean feelings or like some kind of stance on some controversy, or there's a bunch of different possibilities that the author may want you to take out from where they put things because it can really bring out the meaning in a picture. And I included that the art should include the credits of who made it so that way plagiarism doesn't happen and people won't be discredited and it wouldn't like become really unfair because it's not it's really like unethical or immoral to take someone else's art and call it your own. And evoking interpretation or emotions can be very different for a lot of people because everyone has a different perspective, and I think that's what makes art really unique because everyone believes in different things and they have to take something from the art to back up what they believe so it makes sense and people can see it from their way but also hold their own opinion about it. And then I also think that art includes music, photography, and dancing because it can all convey some sort of message. And regarding music, it can be like captivating and it can hold like unique rhythms. And like more specifically for photos, like the angles, blurriness, proximity, edits, flash or no flash, setting, colors, sharpness, and texture can all contribute to a composition and unity of the photo so that it brings it together. And even if the author wanted you to think that the photo was actually trying to separate something, it would basically still be kind of some sort of unity because then everything you see would look separate. But that's what makes it all together a separate thing, if that makes sense. And the textures can also create a unique composition and unity of the photo because the texture is basically what it looks like and how it would feel if you actually were like holding that thing or like feeling it, but it's not really there because it's a photo. But it still gives you that kind of sense from just looking at it, and that's what makes photos a kind of art because I think that if you take it from a certain angle or do certain edits of it, that would change how it would be like nature wise and physically, but also seeing it from like a new perspective and different colors and textures, it just really makes it a whole nother meaning if the author is intending for that to happen. And then for music, like the tempo, dynamics, key signature, instruments, voices, and duration of the song all point out unique characteristics and influences on the audience because like whether it's fast or slow, loud or soft, and key signature is basically like what major it's in. It could be like a simple like do re mi fa so, or it could be like a flat or a sharp, which is basically a half step up or a half step lower in regards to like music definitions. And the duration can also prove to be like short if it's trying to be like brief and concise and get straight to the point, or if it's like long and detailed, and that could mean that it's like more it has like a deeper meaning and you have to like kind of read between the lines to figure out like the lyrics, for example. And like I also think that wait, okay. Right. So, yeah, dancing is the one I haven't mentioned it. That's what I was trying to remember. So, like, dancing is also considered a piece of art because I think it's really interesting how people can convey how they feel about something through movement. So, like, instead of like putting something on paper or like capturing it like a picture, it's really kind of in a video format actually, and you can they just use different movements and gestures that get their point across such as like feeling happy or sad. It could be like more for happy, for example, they could be moving like faster or like doing larger movements in a way, but also they could do smaller movements depending on the tempo because that's a happy tempo is usually kind of upbeat and a little bit quicker than a depressed kind of tempo, and then depressed like the like okay, so sad or more deeper kind of feelings for dance, like if it's on like more to the negative side or like that kind of stuff, it might mean like more like lower movements or um slower movements in my opinion, because that's kind of like how people interpret de- like depressing scenes in a way, and how it's like kind of less energetic, so like the dancing might be less energetic in my opinion. So some examples. I included art from this person called Vlad Yashin, I think that's how it's pronounced. I found his account on Instagram, and he posts like basically his fan art of people, celebrities mostly. And I think that the one on the left and the one on the right are both really good pieces of art because, for example, like the left one, he drew Will from Stranger Things, and I know that his real name is like Will Schnapp. No, sorry, Noah Schnapp, and like he the way he colored it is really accurate because in the series Stranger Things, it's a TV show on Netflix. Basically there's like a monster called the Demogorgon, and it's like stuck in Will in the second season, but they didn't know it until more clues were given. And the his blue eyes and the background is also like blue and kind of like spread out, kind of symbolizes his like coldness and in a way like confusion, because he was trying to help his friends get through all these like terrible things that are happening, because they weren't sure why there was still like violence going on, and he was acting weird himself, but he didn't know it until his friends pointed it out to him, because he was actually like half consumed by the Demogorgon, which was like controlling him. And they were all trying to like help him out because they knew it was happening, but he himself didn't. And the whiteness of the background also just really gives that seriousness and like in a way isolation for him, because he's like really confused and cold too, because coldness was one of the things that happened when the Demogorgon was in him, and it was like really scary because he's not usually this cold, but after the Demogorgon was in him he was. And then the one on the right is Cardi B, and I don't really listen to her music that often, but the way Yashin drew her was very creative, I thought, and like aesthetically pleasing, because he basically put like whipped cream or maybe frosting to like um fill out her like outfit, and he he even put like a spoon on her outfit to show that it's not really drawn on, but it's actually like a kind of food that's like literally on the piece of paper. And it kind of shows the uniqueness and creativity of how he thought her music could basically fit her as a person and use something else, like a different medium, to prove his point, which was really amazing, I thought. And the hair is very like soft and like realistic looking, and her face is very realistic too. And I also included like another example of art, and this video actually recently came out from a group called BTS, and they're like that really uh well, their fame has really spread from South Korea, and I would like to share it because their dancing and lyrics and overall composition of the music video was very um, thought out and thorough and detailed and colorful, and it really meant a lot because of mostly the lyrics and how they decided to interpret it. So let me just open this link. And I'm gonna skip a little bit of the beginning because it's just the logo, and this is where it is. Okay, so I understand that,